Weilar.
Hi, I'm Zorluhan from Milliyet, and next to me is Weilar. He's the chairman of IAB in Sweden, and it was a great pleasure to meet him in the conference. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much.
How is the conference going so far?
Well, the conference itself is interesting itself. It's always challenging for speakers to share insights with peers because, I mean, they are in the same industry, they're in the same situation, so the biggest challenge is really to give clear insights that they can take away as new things for them, and not to become too cliche-like. I mean, if you present to a different group of people, like advertisers or whatever, I mean, you always will come with new stuff to them. Whereas in this case, it's like, you know, so you got to be standing on your toes a bit and stretch yourself and challenge yourself.
You did a great presentation about what can be the alternative channels for publishers in terms of revenue, and one of them, obviously, which a project you started was an e-commerce platform. Can you just tell us a little bit more about what is expecting publishers moving forward?
Okay, so a few key insights really that are standard to all of us is that the platforms are not going away. If you look at the revenue streams possible traditionally for publishers, we're talking about 7 to 10 of them. Only one so far have been challenged by Facebook, and not even to the full extent because they haven't been rolling out the video aspect of their business globally on global full scale yet. So we're facing, you know, huge competition that they're coming forward. So they will not go away, which means that basically, if you are not confident that you will have the best data sets, the highest reach, the best user experience buying your ad products, you're going to get beaten. You can defend some of your revenues, but they're not going to grow to the extent you would like. So you need to look beyond advertising. Many larger companies and niche companies, they've been looking for the paywalls, and we see promising results throughout Europe. What that means, though, is that we're early stage, and what promising results means is not the solution itself necessarily. It could become, but no one has shared with me enough insight on that's replacing the downfall of display yet. So even though we're in early stage and it looks promising, we don't have the answers on that yet. So to us as a publisher, a digital-only publisher in Sweden, we decided already back 2 years ago, based on macro trends that we're seeing, that we need to look at what the core value of what we actually have, and that's engaging audiences in masses, right? And we said to ourselves, imagine if we would have been a startup with 20 million visits a month on our homepage, we would have been quite happy, right? So the problem is, though, that we're not an e-commerce company. So we needed to create that. So we built entrepreneurships basically in order to make sure that they would stay focused on becoming the best e-commerce product in the world and not complying with the fact, you know, the traffic will sort it out for us, so we don't have to stay on top, right? So that was very important to us, to keep it separate from the publishing side as long as possible and treat it as a true startup.
Amazing.
And now we're 2 months in the process, and what I shared on stage is that all of a sudden, finally, the upside of being a publisher beyond traffic is also there, because a publisher sits on a number of capabilities like yield management, like SEO optimization, like most publishers today have a creative agency of some kind, and all these assets you can utilize to improve and make your e-commerce company better. So basically, we're saying that at one hand, we're saying that the e-commerce effort is 3 people, but on the other hand, we say it's actually 88. Become like the full company size and the capabilities accumulated by the staff in the teams. So that's how we look at it, and you know, we're in the same phase as paywalls. It's early stage. It looks promising, but God, who knows?
These are great insights, by the way. Thank you for sharing with us. And you've been speaking about the yield management, right? We in the conference, like programmatic advertising also has been spoken a lot.
Yeah.
And publishers are very excited about it, but seems like they are having several challenges. How do you see programmatic advertising working for publishers, and how do you see, like, if any trends moving forward in 2018?
Yeah, well, the big elephant so far, I think, that no one's talking about is that if publisher could avoid programmatic, they would. They liked it like the way they used to be. They like to have a human impact on their sales, to be able to upgrade it, to be able to dazzle the customer in one way or another. And since they've been able to do that over time, they haven't taken care of the business. So they have been sloppy with quality, they've been sloppy with screen, they've been sloppy with managing the inventory, actually even knowing the value of the inventory, and just looking in the system saying, okay, we got X amount of billion ad views, but how many of those are actually viable? How many of those
True.
are actually sellable?
True.
And the systems reveal this. So that's painful for a lot of publishers. On the other hand, the systems, I mean, they're at early stage them as well. And I mean, they started off with desktop display. They realized that they have to diversify into mobile already back then, if that was a tricky thing. Now they need to facilitate the video, and they need to facilitate branded content. And what we see is that publishers, as they've gone along, they realize that, okay, one single solution is not enough. I need to diversify the different tech options that I need to choose from. So they've done, but that has eventually ended up in a house of cards, right? So it's like, it's fragile, the systems are not talking to each other, the metrics are out there, and on top of that, you need third-party solutions in order to verify, the volumes. So it's just a big mess. And I think what needs to be done, it's a huge spring cleanup of the whole tech infrastructure of publishers, and they need to take this seriously. Otherwise, they're not going to optimize. Because if you look at the full stack solutions of the social platforms, if in all honesty, if someone would ask me what's my video inventory yesterday, I would not have been able to answer, because in one system I have some inventory, in another system I've got outstreams, and I would have been I would have been forced to look into 3 to 4 systems. Is that viable? Of course not. If I cannot answer a client how many views even I've got in an easy way, that's going to be really, I mean, that's just an indication of the problems we are in. So we need to clean up.
I think it came across a couple of times, or many times, like we talk about in the conference about the digital supply chain, and as you said, how it's important to clean that up and maybe to make some adjustments. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Anything else you would like to say or add, and then also I would love to say that we would love to have you in Istanbul in one of the IAB meetings or any other meeting.
Sure.
It was a wonderful presentation here that you did in Digiday, and we really enjoyed it a lot. Anything else you want to add, or?
Well, keep rocking. I mean, there are so many talented people in the industry. Not enough. There needs to be more. So as long as you keep rocking, talent usually attract talent. True. So make sure that you do not comply with average people. Just go and find the best ones in the market.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.